The hunt is on for a coyote who attacked 2 young girls in Arlington, September the 5th. We'll tell you how the victims are doing and what's being done to catch the predator.
With the cold weather still weeks away, the mosquitoes are still out in force. At least 2 more human cases of West Nile virus have surfaced in Middlesex County this year.
Arlington residents have their say on a major plan to spend federal funds known as the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, to the tune of $34 million.
And it's the first day of school for Arlington students. We'll tell you how the town is doing everything it can to keep your kids safe. All that and more coming up next on ACMi News.
From McLennan Park to Spy Pond, from Poets Corner to the Mystic River, we have Arlington covered. We're your neighbors, a friend you can turn to. This is ACMi News.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of ACMi News. I'm James Milan.
And I'm Alexandria Acacia. We begin tonight with a chilling story.
Arlington animal control officials say 2 young girls were attacked earlier this week just minutes apart by a coyote in 2 separate Arlington yards while the children were playing outside. Both victims were rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries earlier in the week. The same coyote is believed to have been responsible for the pair of attacks, and Mass Wildlife and Environmental Police are currently trying to track it down. They cannot rule out that this may be the same coyote that attacked a young boy less than a mile away nearly a month ago. Police say the first of the current victims, a 2-year-old girl, was bitten in the back along Epping Street just before 6 p.m. Roughly 10 minutes later, another 2-year-old girl was scratched by the animal in her yard on Summerhill Circle. Again, both girls' injuries are not life-threatening. Anyone who sees a coyote dangerously close to residential areas or children is asked to call 781-643-1212.
The Massachusetts Department of Public Health has identified at least 2 more human cases of West Nile virus this year. Officials say both individuals are male, one in his 50s, the other in his 70s. Both were exposed to WNV in Middlesex County. Earlier this month, DPH announced the first human case of West Nile virus in the Bay State this year was also exposed in Middlesex. The greater Boston area and several towns in Bristol and Worcester counties are already at moderate risk for WNV. Health experts say there have been no deaths this year associated with the mosquito-borne virus. Officials encourage you to apply insect repellent when you go outdoors and to follow the directions. Wear clothing to reduce mosquito bites, and weather may be hot at times, but wearing long clothing outside just may save your life. Dusk and dawn are the most vulnerable peak mosquito hours, so consider rescheduling outdoor activities that occur during evening or early morning.
July 4th is long gone. Labor Day, a receding memory. Kids, it's time to get back to school. But clearly, safety is priority number 1. September 9th was the first day of school for Arlington students. Some families are relieved that things seem to at least appear normal with children going back to the classroom. But many concerns abound. Some parents are worried about their children's classroom schedules, which of course require mobility and contact with dozens of other students daily. Private testing is another concern. Just weeks ago, the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education chose Cambridge Innovation Center over other COVID-19 testing vendors. You may recall that CIC was used by the governor for the state's first mass vaccination site at Gillette Stadium and is considered the largest COVID-19 service provider in the nation, testing nearly 35 million students per week, according to its website. Education leaders say they'll be monitoring Arlington's student testing ever so carefully in the coming weeks. As we've been telling you in recent weeks, there's a master plan in the works to decide how Arlington will spend federal funds it has received through the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA, which add up to roughly $34 million for the town of Arlington. The Select Board last month voted to approve accepting these funds, which are intended to cover massive losses due to the ongoing COVID crisis. The board also endorsed the immediate spending of more than $1.5 million for current water and sewer needs, and $50,000 to be awarded to the Housing Corporation of Arlington for their homelessness prevention program. Last month, Town Manager Adam Chapdelaine and Select Board members outlined a framework to effectively use the funds. Town administrators say for the rest of the spending, they outlined initial plans in certain categories that the town hopes will have a lasting impact on Arlington. Town officials have asked for public comments on how best to spend that money as well. Those comments were due by September 9th. Town Manager Chapdelaine had this to say about the forum when we spoke to him earlier.
I think I want to try to get people to understand that there will be adjustments over the 3.5-year period that we're allowed to expend these funds. But I'd like to get close to a framework that we're all on board with so that we can start making these investments in areas like affordable housing, areas like food insecurity, mental health resources, homelessness, investments in water and sewer infrastructure, and a few other areas beyond that. So these are important investments that I hope will make a lasting impact on the community for, frankly, in some instances, decades to come. Unfortunately, we can't use really any of this, or maybe only a very limited amount, to benefit the general fund. So from a taxpayer impact, we're working to see if there are ways we can provide taxpayer impact, taxpayer benefit, but we may not be able to.
How fast 7 years have flown. The Arlington Open Space and Recreational Plan Community Survey is being updated as we speak. The last OSRP survey to make its appearance was in 2015 and continues to inventory current open spaces and recreational resources to meet the needs of Arlington residents. And the town wants your input on just how to do it. The survey asks questions like, what is the town doing to meet residential needs? What can the town do better and how? And what are missed opportunities? The survey will take about 7 minutes to complete. Find out more about the update at arlingtonma.gov/open space.
The Arlington Police Department will be hosting a gun buyback program at the Winchester Country Club on Saturday, October 2nd. The event, called Safer Homes, Safer Community, will go from 10 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon in the lower tennis court parking lots. Arlington police say it gives residents a chance to safely dispose of unwanted guns and reduces the risk of an accidental discharge, self-harm, and theft. This year's event is being held with the help of the Middlesex Sheriff's Office, the Winchester Police Department, Arlington's Human Rights Commission, and local community and faith-based organizations. If you'd like more information, call APD Special Projects Clerk Cheryl Nahijan at 781-316-3946.
The Jewish high holidays are upon us, and people are on the hunt for challah. A local Arlington bakery is gearing up to break bread with the community. I followed the sweet smells over to Breadboard Bakery to see what's cooking. Over the current 2-week period, many are observing both Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Under the lingering shadows of COVID, celebrations may be different, but the food will stay the same. And those who celebrate have been reflecting and preparing to break bread for the new year. Here in Arlington, bakers at Breadboard Bakery have been working overtime at their ovens to produce traditional Jewish foods like challah ahead of the holidays.
We've only offered 4 things. One is, 2 kinds of challah, raisin and plain challah, and for Rosh Hashanah it's traditionally a round challah. So we make a 4-strand braid and then make it into a nice round shape. Normally the challah is like however many strands you want. We do a 2-strand braid and it's normally like a long oval type of shape.
Challah bread can be savory or sweetened with raisins and is often consumed as part of Jewish ceremonies. Its circular shape and occasional braided design are symbolic in the religion. Along with challah, Chow also bakes honey cakes, rugelach, and kolaches. She's becoming an expert after savoring the sweets for so long.
We also have apple honey kolaches. Kolaches are like a sweet enriched bun, kind of like brioche, and normally it's filled with like a jam or like preserves or some sort of dried fruit compote. I ate a lot of like sweets in New York when I was in college. Rugelach, honey cake, babka, black and white cookies. I can't make all those things yet, but I know what they should taste like.
After working at various bakeries, Chow learned the importance of what goes into a baked good. She started using high-quality, local-sourced ingredients in her own shop. That's now a defining feature of her baking.
The goal that I try to do is incorporate locally milled flours and locally grown grains. Not a lot of places do that, and it does make our prices a little bit higher, but I think it's worth it also keeping the money in the economy.
The challah bread has brought in new customers into the bakery, and Daisy has faith that they will keep returning.
You know, I just hope that it's good enough for you to remember to want to come back here.
The Arlington International Film Festival is less than 2 months away, and there are several events taking place between now and the official start of the festival on November 4th. First up is a screening of short films made in reaction to COVID from across the globe, presented at the Roasted Granola Cafe in Arlington Heights on Saturday, September 11th, starting at 7 p.m. The selection of shorts was curated by the Unified Filmmakers Festival, which is based in Munich, Germany. There's live music as well, and a reprise screening of Sanctuary, the 2020 AIFF Best of Festival winner in the high school category, made by a current AHS student. I had a chance to talk to the organizers behind the event.
My wife made the most important sentence for this festival. We want to see in the living rooms and in the sleeping rooms of other families, how they handle with Corona. So this was kind of the mission, to get the best and the most worldwide perspective on that pandemic, to see how is it in Brazil or in Russia, how the people handle with this isolation, with this pandemic. What does it mean for them?
A lot of belly laughs that to be had, which I think we can all use more laughs, and then some sobering moments, but indeed a lot of laughs. So in addition to the shorts program, we're going to be featuring last year's Best of Festival high school winner, our own Arlington student, Elshen Fillerman, and his film won Best of Festival high school category last year for Sanctuary. Will be screening his film, as well as he will be there to talk with us about the making of the film. So again, this was another COVID production, so it certainly plays into the major conversation about what it's like to be in the house, locked in. So he's used his family to be the cast for his film. So it's really quite well done.
Go and see the movies and see a wide selection of Corona movies, which are for sure, and this is what I'm promised, entertaining and give you a new perspective in a way on some things, hopefully.
We never know, from one year to the next, what amazing connections we'll make through these filmmakers and the people they bring into our lives. So it's lovely to connect.
September 9th marked the first day of school in Arlington, but it also marked the beginning of the new fall sports season. Newly appointed sports producer Aneem Osmani gets a preview of the season from the AHS girls field hockey team.
I'm Brianne Mansfield. I am the varsity field hockey coach here at Arlington High. It's my 11th year coaching, 6 years as a freshman coach and 5 here with this crew behind me. I went to this high school, played here proudly, and excited to be back with them for another season. Last year, of course, very different. Ended up third in our league, and the year before we made it to tournament for the first time in, I believe it was 8 years. My expectation for this team is tournament again this year. I'd like to see them back there. I think they would have easily made it last year if we had it, so I'm hoping to shoot for that again.
It's really exciting considering last season it was totally different. We normally play 11 on 11, but last year because of COVID it was only 7 on 7, so it's going to be a huge difference because we still played the whole field. So it's going to be, you're adding like almost double the players, so it should be interesting to see.
Our preseason started August 26th. We opted to do double sessions, so we had 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, and then a final session on Saturday. I say they came in shape. We do summer workouts, so they were here working their butts off over the summer and getting ready for it. If I had to grade it, I'd give them a nice a B+. I'm not going to shoot too high. They have room for improvement, but they came in ready.
It was very productive. It was kind of hard because we didn't play that much over the summer or really since like last fall, but we really got back in the grind and started to like practice a lot more with each other.
So we hustle and we work really hard. We are not the finesse style that you might see from some other teams that have been playing for a bit, but we work really hard, we persevere, and it's our grit. We work really hard.
So the biggest lessons that I've learned through field hockey are teamwork is huge, and like team bonding is great. So we've been doing a lot of that, and I'm excited.
I feel like for the team, we're going to do really well this year. I think we have a close-knit group, so it should really help us.
The strengths definitely, I think, are we're all really close. So I think we all have really good talking skills on and off the field. So, yeah.
I do have big expectations. There was no tournament last year, so I really hope we'll make it to tournament this year and we'll go far.
Come on down, see some field hockey. If you don't know what it is, it's a very fascinating, fast-paced sport. Come on down and check us out.
And once again, that was Aneem Osmani with the story. For more high school sports content, please visit the ACMi Sports YouTube page and follow their social media at ACMi Sports. We'd also like to let you know that you can be a part of the sports team too. ACMi Sports is looking for students, parents, or community volunteers. If you're interested in joining, email sports@acmi.tv.
Arlington athletes making their return to the field or court, which means enjoy the warm weather while it lasts. The first day of fall is just 2 weeks away.
Which also means the Flip-Flops make their annual pilgrimage to the storage bin. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's edition of ACMi News. I'm Alexandria Acacia.
And I'm James Milan. We'll see you next week.
You can always check out our latest segments and newscasts on the web at acmi.tv/news. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ACMi News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You'll find us at youtube.com/ACMi News. If you have any news tips for us or wish to become a citizen journalist, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at news@acmi.tv or stop by ACMI Studio A at 85 Park Avenue.